Yeah, I think Manchester United's exit from Europe, especially not dropping into the Europa League, which would have been disappointing, is completely and utterly unacceptable. I mean, with a group that, with all due respect, has got Copenhagen and Galatasaray in it, to finish bottom with 4 points and conceded the goals that we have, um, I think Man United fans need to be very careful about accepting things like that. There has to be accountability. There has to be a reaction. I'm not saying that the manager needs to be sacked. I'm firmly not in that camp, but how many more years are we going to see Manchester United failing? You see it with some of United fans as well. Ten Hag out is just such a lazy reaction. Like, United fans need to be thinking more than that. Like, there's many more problems than that. And if you think Ten Hag out is the answer, and then I think we're truly lost as a fan base. We've got to be demanding a hell of a lot more than that. With the case with Manchester United at the moment, you've got to look at the future of many footballers, and you've got to be ruthless. It cannot just be, let's remove this player because he's coming towards the end of his contract. You've got to look at the entirety of the squad, because Manchester United are not performing as a team and therefore as a squad. So people like Marcus Rashford have to be on the agenda. And I think this is what I mean about reflecting on this embarrassing start to the season. It can't just be let's wait and see, and maybe Rashford scores goals for 6 months. You've got to look at it and go, is this the guy to take us to the levels we need to be? And if it isn't, maybe a move for him is good. Maybe a move for United is good. But I'd keep everything on the table. Marcus Rashford isn't exclusively the problem at Manchester United. There's a lot of managers out there that I think you could say, could they do a job at Manchester United? And Unai Emery would be one of those. But I wouldn't go anywhere near the job if I was Unai Emery. I think the Aston Villa job, setup, structure, squad is far superior to ours. And Manchester United's been a graveyard for many a manager, and I think it would be for Unai Emery. I genuinely 100% do not believe that a manager changes the problems at Manchester United. It would have to be a whole infrastructure change above the manager, talking CEO, director of football, and a massive, massive, massive change with the playing squad. It's an interesting thought if Jurgen Klopp had come to Manchester United instead of Liverpool. You look at what he's done at Liverpool, and I remember before Klopp went to Liverpool, I was a big admirer of him as a coach, and I think most Man United fans would agree. We would have been very happy to take Jurgen Klopp. The feeling is that we would have been very, very successful if Jurgen Klopp had been manager of Manchester United. But then I think there's probably a bit of fantasy there, because you look at the situation now, and I'm saying don't sack Ten Hag because the problems, the playing squad, the recruitment, the infrastructure, the owners, and that still would have been the same there if Jurgen Klopp had gone there. And talking about what Jurgen Klopp's like as a manager and how vocal he is, would he have lasted at Manchester United, walking into a club where I think that a lot of things get hidden as to how bad it's being run, and managers have to wait 18 months after their NDAs to discuss the problems? And I just think maybe Jurgen Klopp, well, I don't think he would have wanted the job, because I think he would have seen the problems. And as much as it would be, I think it would be pure fantasy to say that Klopp would have been successful at United, because I think to be successful, when you look at Arteta and Pep and Klopp at Liverpool, you've got to have the things around you in place as well. Everyone's got to be singing from the same hymn sheet. I think Liverpool, top of the league at the moment, ahead of the Manchester United game. You think back to last season where we went there quite confident and completely and utterly got dismantled, 7-0, heads dropped, unacceptable again, and Liverpool took advantage of it. I think a lot of people are expecting a similar sort of scoreline, because Liverpool have got better and Manchester United have got worse, but football doesn't work like that. I wouldn't be surprised if it was quite a tight, boring game. I'd fully expect Liverpool to win it, but maybe it will be a 1 or 2-0. Famous last words, it'll probably be 8 or 9, but that will be if Man United go there with the mentality to drop their heads. Well, it is for me 100%, because like many Manchester United fans, I'm not from Manchester and I don't live in Manchester. I respect anybody who thinks that Man City's a bigger game, because you've got to go to work, you've got family and friends who are Man City fans, and that's a very real experience. But I think for the majority, and even United fans I know who are from Manchester, still Liverpool. And I think that's no disrespect to Everton or Manchester City. I just think that there's a thin line between love and hate, they say, and I think that Liverpool and Manchester United actually have a lot of similarities when it comes to history, success, style of football, fan base, cities. There's a massive rivalry there, because actually there's just a lot of similarities there. So for me, Liverpool, being a young kid in the late 80s as well, seeing Liverpool so successful, yeah, that was just another motivator as well. And I think that is why it's such a big game, because there is that hidden respect, I think, amongst both fans, that it matters more because they are a team that worries us. Maybe not more in recent years. I mean, Liverpool went missing for a long time, and we've gone missing again now. But it still retains that Liverpool Manchester United #1 rivalry for me.